What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? This topic was brought to my attention by a good friend and one of hip hop's most prolific writers and unsung heroes, K Reno. K Reno talked about hopelessness. What do you do when you lose hope? He spoke at length about how losing hope is a form of surrender. Right on the head. I'm talking about hammer on the head. Fam, you know, here's the thing about losing hope. I think that at some point we've all lost hope about something, right? But let's talk about things that we really, really want, right? To lose hope for something that you really want, outside of romantic relationships, let's talk about, let's say, business, wanting to pursue a career goal that is within reach, because it's important to know that, you can want to be a professional basketball player, but if you're 50 years old and you can't even dunk and you dribble with two left hands, you're probably not going to make it. So we got to be realistic. Let's set goals within reason, right? Here's how I operate when it comes to things that I want to do. I basically feel like I can do anything. I just be thinking like, man, and call it what you want. Call it ego, whatever you want to call it, but call it foolishness, whatever. But I just feel like if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. That's just the way I'm wired. I just feel like if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'll keep on doing it until I convince myself that it can't be done. I feel like if somebody else can do it, I can do it. So, but when it comes to like hope, losing hope, the way I would avoid something like that is I understand that problems, issues are temporary. And all you got to do is just keep waking up and things will get better most of the time. So far, all of us are batting 1,000 in terms of baseball. In baseball, 1,000 is a perfect score. It's a perfect batting average. That means that every single time that you've ever had a problem in life, you got through it. You got on base, whether it was a single, a double, a triple, or a home run, or you walked, but you got on base. Somehow, you got on base. That's how life is. So when I look at problems, most of the problems that we look at, that we have, they're really, and that cause us the most anxiety, are really really small problems. And they're very, very temporary. And most of it is really brought on by the way we think, the way we process the problem. A lot of times people work themselves up because they feel like they don't have control. And when they don't have control, they try to force the situation. They try to force positive results and try to bend things to their will instead of basically invoking that serenity prayer like I do. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the strength to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I've been practicing that for so long, it's in my DNA. When I can't control the situation like anybody else, it may cause me some anxiety, but I get over it almost like instantly because that serenity prayer kick in for me. And I understand that I can't control all situations. Some of us try to control our children. We want to try to control who they befriend. I'm talking about, like, it's one thing when your kids are under your roof and they're young kids. It's a whole different thing when your kid is grown and you're still trying to control them. You're trying to control who they date, trying to control who they're friends with, trying to control what type of career they want to have. Some of us, we're controlling with our spouses, want to control your man, want to control your woman. And when things don't go your way, when they're not doing what you want them to do, you lose it. You can't operate. Instead of just not trying to change people, what I do is I change my expectations of people. I don't try to change people. I change my expectations. That way, if I'm not expecting you to do a certain thing, you can't let me down. See what I'm saying? So a lot of it is about control. And when it comes to losing hope, it's really about respecting the process. That's what I do. I just respect the process. If I feel some anxiety, if I feel some pain, if I feel some anger, sadness, whatever, I know that it's temporary. I'm like, okay, been here before, seen that before, and I get through it every single time. So I don't know, for some things in life, and I think we can all put a finger on some things that, it's so bad that you just don't see how things are going to turn around because, in this society that we live in America, there's a lot of wicked people at the top. And the sad thing is, oftentimes, the good die young because the wicked kill them. Imagine that, fam. Imagine Martin Luther King dying at 39 and somebody like Strom Thurmond living to be however old. He was an old buzzard when he died. And so many more. A lot of the rotten ones, they live to be well into their 80s and 90s. Sometimes they hit 100. While people like Fred Hampton gets executed at 21 years old. It's cold game, fam. Cold game. Anyway, fam, just keep waking up. Keep waking up. Keep going forward. And like the objects in the rearview mirror, those problems will get smaller and smaller. And eventually, if you keep going forward, you won't even see them. No surrender, no retreat. Keep hope alive. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?